The Colorado winter holds a certain kind of silence, a crisp, thin-aired quiet that seems to preserve things. For nearly 3 decades, that silence has enveloped a name, a face. An endless question. JonBenet Ramsey. 1996, a case that became less about a child and more about a circus of media frenzy, of public suspicion, of theories spun from whispers and tabloid ink. It grew cold as the boulder stones, buried under layers of speculation, pain, and time. Then, a crack in the ice. The news hit not with a shout, but with the steady, determined tone of officials who choose their words like surgeons choose scalpels. New evidence, fresh leads, actively being pursued. 29 years later, in the digital age, these words don't just travel. They detonate, and the epicenter of that explosion wasn't just in Colorado, but in the glowing screens of millions. Imagine, for a moment, the quiet office of a retired detective in Florida. He sips his morning coffee, the ghost of this case forever in his peripheral vision, his phone button notification. JonBenet breaking. The coffee cup freezes halfway to his lips. Or picture a mother in Ohio, driving her kids to school. Now, she looks in the rearview mirror at her own daughter's face. A podcast host mentions the new development, and she has to pull over. Her breath catching. After all this time. This is where the story reignites, not just in a lab or an interrogation room, but in the collective heartbeat of a nation still hungry for answers. It surges through YouTube. The modern-day campfire, true crime channels. Once dissecting the case with grainy VHS footage and scanned documents, now light up with urgent update banners. We're talking about touch DNA analysis so sensitive it can find a ghost on a piece of evidence. Handled by a dozen people, digital forensics on things they didn't even know. Evidence back. Then, the screen splits. On one side, the heartbreaking, slow-motion video of JonBenet on a pageant stage, sparkling. On the other, a stark, animated graphic of DNA helices or a ghostly 3D rendered recreation of the Ramsey basement. The narration is a gripping, emotional roller coaster. They recount the known horror, the 911 call, the bizarre ransom note, the father's gut-wrenching discovery in the wine cellar. But now, they weave in the new possibility. What if, the host whispers, on that length of cord, or the edge of that duct tape, or on the clothes she wore, there is a fingerprint of the truth, waiting all this time to speak. The comments sections beneath these videos explode in real time. I've waited 29 years to see this. My heart is pounding. Please, let there be justice for her. Generation X remembers where they were when the news first broke. Gen Z is discovering the case's raw, unfiltered details for the first time, and burdened by the media bias of the 90s, armed with fresh, skeptical eyes. The emotional pull is magnetic because it's a story of stolen innocence, frozen in time. JonBenet would be 35 years old today. She might have been a mother, an artist, a teacher. That stolen future is the haunting chord that resonates. The new leads are a fragile lifeline thrown not just to investigators, but to everyone who ever looked at her photo and felt a pang of unresolved sorrow. In Boulder, the very stones of the city seem to listen a little closer. The Ramsey house, long since sold and altered, stands as a silent sentinel, somewhere, perhaps in a secured evidence locker. A box labeled with the most famous case number in Colorado history is being reopened. A microscope illuminates a fiber. A computer algorithm runs a new pattern match. This is the real-life story now, the agonizing, hopeful, breathless wait. It's the sound of a cold case file being cracked open, and the collective, emotional gasp of a world that never really looked away. It's the enduring hope that even the deepest, most frozen silence can be broken by the persistent, advancing light of time and truth. The story is no longer just about what happened in the dark of a December night. It's about the possibility, 29 years later, of finally letting in the dawn.